Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today we're with a 1972 Honda CB100 that's been sitting for years. Let's see if we can get this sucker running. So guys, we're at the courthouse trying to get all of these suckers running over time, and our next victim, our candidate, our motorcycle is this 1972 CB100. Let's take just a look and see what we have, kind of what we're missing. Right off, we're missing a couple of side covers. We're missing this piece of the taillight. It'd be better if it was on the bottom, because then it'd be a drain hole for the water right here. Now it's just a cup. Looks like we're missing a battery. Going through, what are we looking at miles on this thing? 4,009. Fairly complete, again, minus the said things that we mentioned. All right, the wheels look pretty good. It needs a good bath, needs a good cleaning. Exhaust looks good. It does kick over, as referenced by me kicking it over. So maybe we put a battery on it and see if it comes to life. Guys, you may be saying, Eric, how are you picking which motorcycle to do next? One big thing. If it has one of these, if it has a key, we're going to give it a shot. If it doesn't have a key, it's going to move a little bit later into the queue, because we got to order said key, wait for said key to arrive, and then so yada, yada, yada. So that's why we're on this. Plus, it's a cool little bike. So let's stick a battery on it. Okay, so we got the battery kind of rigged up. And we don't have any, we're not getting anything up here, no horn, no nothing. But then I did notice that this guy looks like it should be going somewhere. Oh, look right here. Let me put you down so I can plug it in. Let's see if we get some more juice going in the right location. Nothing. Let's check our fuse right about here. We should have, oh, that could be it. Looks like we got nothing but clear skies right there. Let's see if we can find a fuse. So I was able to find one from the CB125 that was parked right next to it. So let's see if this makes a difference. Key on. Oh, you saw it? We just blew. I think we just blew it. We gotta, we now know why it was parked. It was electrical somewhere. And so now we gotta chase down a ground or chewed wire. We'll have to pull everything off. Let's see if we can pull this seat off. The good thing is that it's loose. So it means somebody was trying to discover this, trying to figure it out. Let's see if we can do that. We are missing that bolt right there. Let's get the tank off. Oh, missing a petcock. That's going to make it hard to run right there. Okay, first off, I'm not a big fan of the wires being all wrapped around the clutch cable. So let's unplug these, get them on the correct side of the clutch cable, and let's go from there. Also, this harness should be routed through this center. So let's look to see if we can find anything that is kind of out of the ordinary. Once we get it sorted, we'll undo this clamp, slide it to the other side, and this guy too. So it looks to be we're all there. The next spot is, I don't see anything, looking at the wires. I don't see anything chewed up or ate up. This one looks like it may have been burned up a little bit. It could have been that it was just loose. Right there, we'll have to check it. But I'm not seeing anything kind of out of the ordinary. I do have and ignore my wonky connections. I just had to make it work. I didn't have the connections that I needed. So We'll need another fuse. We're going to need to look inside that headlight, so let's do that now. Let's go ahead and pull this cover off, this light off. Hopefully we find something amiss, right? That would make life a little easier. But right off the bat, everything looks good in the hood. So it looks like maybe this had never been taken off. So let's keep digging around. This is a neat little trick I like to do, is just put the screw back where it goes, but connect the headlight to it. It's on backwards, but that way I don't have to worry about it flopping around and swinging around and all that stuff. It'll just sit right there and stay out of the way. Or you can just unplug it and put it somewhere else. But this way I can leave the bike and I can come back to it and all the pieces and parts are right there. I don't have to wonder where it is. So guys, I like to keep old wiring harnesses, things like that. Like these are lights from a dash for a couple of reasons. One, the bulbs, and two, I didn't bring a test light, but now I have one because it's already there. So now I can use this as a test light to see where I'm getting power, where it's stopping. So I got my light right here. So I should be able to touch right here on my ground and right here, and I got power. So let's see where I'm getting power to. Let's see, this is the one that blew. Let's see, yeah, I'm getting power to there. That's power. I'm not getting power to this side, but I know that was plugged in. Not getting power there. So I'm getting power from here. Back you guys up a little bit. And ground. So I'm getting power from the battery up through here all the way to here. Now let's see if we're getting it to the points. Key is on. Oh, well, actually, before we do that, let's see if we're getting it key off. Actually, that's key on. So let me see. Is this just my key? That should be horn. Is that coming from my switch? No, this is coming from my switch right here. The only thing coming from my switch right here. So let's see. Let's see if it's in my switch. I'll leave it off. We're going to replace the red and black wire. We'll just sacrifice a fuse if we have to, because it could be in our switch. Let's find out. We'll see if that fuse blows really quickly. Key is off. Could be just a bad connection in here. Could be a problem in our switch. Let's keep an eye on here. See if we blow our fuse. Yep, it blew our fuse. So looks like it could be in, it's in this wire going to here and then running out. Let's change it. Let's see if it comes. Let's eliminate our switch. Let's try another fuse. Okay, I have a new fuse in here. I've disconnected the black wire. Let's see if we blow our fuse again. Okay, fuse is still good, so maybe it's in this guy. Let's see if we're getting power anywhere else. This black one just goes to the coil. I mean, should go to our, hold on. This don't look like it's plugged in right. This is our problem, because the coil should be connected to something. The coil is connected to the coil. Coil is connected to the condenser, nothing else. So how does the spark come from the coil to here? We're kind of messed up a little bit. So let's see if we can figure it out. I would imagine that this guy goes to this guy, and okay, I got two. Then this guy is going to go to this guy, and this guy is going to go back to, turn it off, going to go back to this guy, plug it in. Okay, that looks more right. Now we have a signal coming from our condenser, which is coming from our coil to our points, right? Let's see if we blow a fuse. Did not blow a fuse. Horn works. Looks like we might have fixed it. Let's see if we pull the spark plug off, if we get some spark. Let's go ahead and put this headlight back on since we know that that is not our problem. And guys, we were able to fix this or eliminate that. We didn't buy any parts, right? So I'm a huge proponent of fix what you can with what you have before you go ahead and spend any money. So let's go ahead and put this guy on and then pull that spark plug off. The good thing, look what I found in the spark plug. Oh, a brand new spark plug. Somebody was trying to solve it and then just had it a little mixed up. Let's see if we get some spark. Okay, before we start kicking this thing like a crazy person, the spark plug is out over there. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the ignition on and just gonna try to, yep, you hear it? I don't know if you can't really see it, but you can hear it. There you go, you saw a little spark. Just making sure that I'm getting stuff all the way through. Now let's hook up our spark plug and see if we get some spark. Okay, so I came over here to stick the spark plug in there, but this guy is a little loose. When it pulls off, you're not making a good connection. So let's go ahead and snip the end off of that and then screw it on. There we go. And let's screw the end on. Screw this thing back in. There, that feels a lot better. Guys, just this right here will solve a lot of your problems in diagnosing. Before you go buy coil, I'm glad these guys bought a spark plug, but we probably didn't need it. Okay, let's sit him right there and see if we get any juice. Okay, let's see if we can put this guy right here, turn the key on, and then kick it. No. Am I getting spark? I could just hold on to the end and find out. Yeah, I'm getting spark. I'm opening and closing the points right here. I'm opening and closing. I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn this light off. Okay, let's try again. Just opening and closing the points here. Now let's see if it's doing it when I'm kicking it over. No, so let's check our timing. Make sure our timing's good. So guys, we know that we have spark going, power going from the battery all the way through. When we open the points, it comes right through here. The problem is right now, our points gap may not be set correctly. The points may need to be cleaned. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to the compression stroke just by sticking my finger over the hole, find out where it is. Okay, that looks like we're coming up. And then let's get it set and then go on the other side. Okay guys, let me show you what we have. We have our fire, let me put this right here. We have our top dead and our fire marks. We're gonna roll backwards. I'm gonna put the wrench back on. We want to line it up right on that fire mark, right there. As soon as I do this, you won't be able to see, but by setting the wrench right here, going back, now I'm back on the fire mark, so I'm good. And then I'm gonna come up here. My problem is we're not opening. Our points aren't opening, right? They should be opening, starting to open right at fire, but they're not, which is the reason why we're not getting spark on the other side when I kick it over, but if I open and close it, I get spark on the other side. So we're gonna use our test light, our homemade test light, right, to do this. So I've got my test light hanging right here. I've got one end grounded, and the other end is gonna go right here. I'm just going to touch it right here on that screw. Let me get my little pointer. On the head of this little bolt right there. I'm going to touch it right there. I'm going to turn the key on. I'm going to touch it right there. And nothing's going to happen because the points are closed. But the moment I open the points, my light's going to come on. So I'm going to use that to tell me where to set this. Use that little light. First thing we're going to do is loosen this guy up. You guys have done this before. Just loosen that guy up. Hold this guy right here. You can do this with your multimeter if it's got the sound connectivity. You can do it right there. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, I got to loosen it up a little bit more. And maybe it's both of them. Okay, that should be enough. Again, holding it right. And if I had clips, it would be easier. But I don't, so let's see if we can. Which way do we go? There we go. And I like to go right where it starts to come on. Right there. That'll be good. We'll tighten that sucker down. Okay, I don't have any sandpaper, but I just remembered that my trusty knife, and I am a professional, don't let the size fool you, that it's got some, like a fingernail file right there. So I can just go in there and just file it a little bit. Although I think these points are brand new. I think it was all done. So let's see if we got spark on the other side. Key on, you guys focus right there. Let's see if we get some spark. Yep. That's it. Let's put that spark plug back in, put some fuel in it, see what happens. Okay, so we have our fuel source hooked up. Should have it coming through our carburetor. Maybe we'll smack on it a little bit. Don't go too crazy when you're beating on, when you're tuning your carburetor. Okay, let's kick it. Well, let's turn the key on first. Turn the key on. Make sure we still have power. Let's kick it. Let's turn choke off. Let's see. Let's pop this. Let's turn this off for a second. Let's pop this air cleaner off and see if we can spray some juice in it. I got a little carb cleaner. Got the throttle open. That should be enough to start a fire. Let's see what happens. Key back on. I'm just looking for some noise. Come on, help me out. Let's hit the choke again. I forgot I had my electric start here. So, let's try again. Come on. It wants to. Let me turn this wheel so I can get to that throttle a little bit. Anytime you hear it kind of sound like it's grinding, it's because the engine is trying to start and it's out turning the drill. Let me spray some carb cleaner in there. Next step will be to pull this carb apart. Oh, let me pull the choke off when you're spraying in. Now let's try. Let's try again. Yeah, it wants to. Come on. Come on. It wants to. Looks like you got to pull that carb off. Come on. Come on. What's holding you up? Nothing. Okay, let's try again. See if I get this guy off first. Okay. Now, come on. Okay, we got it. Let's see what we got here. Let's pop this guy off. Should be full of fuel. If the float works, yep. There, let's check these. I just realized I did not bring... I've got some carb cleaner here, but I don't have little jet cleaners. Well, we know the... Oh, our needle sticking. We'll pull it out, clean it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's check, see if these are clear. They all look clean. The the needle was a little sticky, but it's good now. But the one thing I did find is that my air fuel screw was 3 turns out. So I found that out by turning it in, and then it should be set to 1.5. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Again, I count 1, 2, 3. I count how many times I go from the, I'll show you. So that's, I count that as 1, going from flat to flat on the screwdriver. That is 2, and that is 3. But that's really 1.5. It's easier for me to count to 3 than to lose where that is. So maybe that was my problem. Maybe I was getting too much air. So let's see how it works from here. Let's stick this sucker back on. Fingers crossed. Key on, carbs back on, fuel's on. We're not getting nothing. So guys, I found that the idle screw was ran all the way in, and it's wanting to turn over, but not, so I backed it out a good bit, looked inside to kind of see where it was. We're in I think a pretty good spot, which would have been, we would have been trying to run off the main, just kind of bypassing the pilot jet circuit altogether. So our next course of action will be to pull off these tappet covers and set the valve clearance, because because that's the only other thing, right? We know we have compression. We know that we've got spark. We've got some fuel. Hopefully it's about the right time. Our jets are clear, everything's clear. And the only thing is our valve adjustment could be off. Based on everything else we found on this motorcycle, it looks like somebody did some work to it and maybe just needed to take a little bit more time in doing the work. Because like what we found with the coil being hooked up wrong, the idle jet, the air fuel screw being screwed all the way in, being screwed out three turns instead of 1.5, the idle screw being screwed in all the way. So, and based off the way this tappet cover's rounded off, I'm guessing they were probably in there too. So now it's just going back and checking all of that. The only bad thing is I don't have feeler gauges here to be able to do that. So that'll have to be on in the next episode with this CB100. But the good thing is we sorted out our electrical gremlins. We sorted out that we were able to get spark. We were trying to get a little bit more. We still need a petcock before we can ride it. So I think we're at a pretty fair stopping point to be able to get back to the CB100, and we need a petcock and adjust the valves, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be it. So guys, there you have it, our Honda CB100. We've solved some electrical problems. Got to figure out the rest of them. But that's how it is with these old motorcycles, right? You fix the first thing so you get to fix the next thing. Once you get that done, you got to figure out what's next. Once you get it running, you got to ride it so you can figure out what you have to fix next. We're just on the path. But this is a cool looking little motorcycle. It's going to be fun. We made great strides today. It's kind of sputtering a little bit. Kind of looks like it wants to wants to fire. We'll get it. We're not too far off. It's not too far off, but I can't wait to ride this sucker. It's going to be awesome. Guys, I want to thank you for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. And do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day. This darn motorcycle. All you have to do is run. What more do you want? Come on, we'll get you next time.